Wondering if a non-conductor agent is a security threat. This is a topic in the Holochain Dev Talk.
Yeah, I saw that link and went and checked it out. And yeah, what it's talking about is the possibility of somebody just using the Holochain protocol to connect to a node and harvest data, just like suck data out of it and kind of go around and vacuum data out of these things, as if it's a protocol like an HTTP protocol or something like that that just makes open requests. And so I wanted to clarify how Holochain works. We talk about how Holochain isn't one monolithic thing. Each app is its own network, right? The way that that actually works is that when you create a Holochain node, you declare an address into the space. And that space is the DHT space of that particular application. There is encryption that application is running that basically means only nodes within that network can talk to each other, nodes within that application can talk to each other, as well as the act of declaring your address into the space undergoes a validation process, just like all the data undergoes a validation process, peer validation process. And so what this allows you to do is to set up membranes essentially to your space. So for example, let's say you have a Slack type chat app that you have for a private group, a private team in your company or something like that. And you can set the validation criteria to require an invitation code. So if you don't have an invitation code, then if I don't have an invitation code, me declaring my address into the space will actually get rejected if I can't also provide the authorized invitation code in this example, right? So then I'm not actually a node that anybody will talk to. And since all the messages are encrypted and signed by these addresses, if I'm not using a valid address, none of the messages will even decrypt or route, and nobody will interact with me. So there is, in that sense, the ability to have each of these networks be a hard membrane, right? Now, if you don't have any criteria for joining your network, then yes, things on the DHT can be queried by other nodes because that's the way a DHT works. It is a shared database. And that's why we have private entries that can stay on your chain and public entries that are published to the DHT. And we call them public on purpose so that you recognize public entries are data that people can absorb. But they can't do that by not being in your application, by not being a node in your network. They have to have been a node in your network first. And so that's, if you're concerned about people just harvesting data, then you manage the network membrane. And then if you're concerned about the privacy of that data, you don't publish things to the public space that aren't supposed to be public. You keep those as private entries on chains.